That's right, DJ Relly Rail. I'm here, Open Door Arts and Education Project, here with singer-songwriter, straight out of Harlem. Maybe the Bronx? Are you like a Bronx Harlem baby?
No.
No, okay, I'm a Bronx Harlem. But shout out to all my Bronx Harlem babies. But the one and only, representing Harlem, Vina Love. Make some noise. Everybody in the building, make some noise for Vina Love.
Hiya. Hi, everybody.
We here. So, Vina Love, man. You've been singing. You've been singing your heart out. And when did this start for you? Because I know, you know, Pops is a legendary DJ. Mm-hmm. My favorite DJ of all time, Kid Capri. Mm-hmm. And I can imagine what that's like growing up in the house, hearing the music. What are some of the music that you're hearing growing up? And how are you getting into singing?
It's so crazy because everybody knows me as a singer, but I was a dancer before I even knew I could sing. So I started dancing when I was 2. My mom had me in ballet, African jazz, tap, everything. I did all of that up until it was time for high school. Middle school was when I realized I could sing for real, but high school was when I was like, all right, like I'm a singer now. Like I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actress, all of that. So it started to come together as I grew up. Like it wasn't like I was always singing. But the music I listened to was my mom's favorite artists from when I could start to remember music were like Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, people like that. And then as I got older, the songs I would hear as a kid, I was now able to go listen to as an adult and really be like, oh, that's the Delphonics. Oh, that's this person, that's this person. So my music range widened as I got older when I could really understand it. But I've listened to music from the 60s, 40s, all types of stuff since I was a kid.
I get that vibe that like, you know, you're an old soul. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Child, it was just your birthday.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a Libra, you know, word on the street is we like balance. How would you say it is in this era balancing out being an artist, wanting to express yourself on social media, you know, but then, you know, we also go into the schools. You have you know, young girls who follow you, who look up to you. Mm-hmm. How do you balance that just in this, you know, for you?
It's hard. You wake up and you don't even really think about all of that. You kind of just go situation by situation, like, all right, should I do this or should I do that? And it's hard to think about because you're still growing up. Well, me, I'm still growing up. I just turned 26. I'm still like trying to figure out how to handle, 1, my emotions, 2, my mouth, like just certain things. And when you're on social media, it's easy to react. It's easy to be like, F you and nah. But then it's like, there's other people watching me. Like I have to be mindful, but then you're still trying to protect yourself. You're still trying to defend yourself. Like it's just so much. So I can never really give anybody a blueprint on how to balance what's going on with growing up as a human being and being in the industry. You just gotta really like find your way and take it day by day.
Right, and speaking of growing up, you were also growing up hip hop. Mm-hmm. Explain that opportunity and maybe something you noticed for your career, like maybe a milestone, maybe people recognize me or people are commenting on, you know, on my pictures more. How does life change after something like that?
For me, it wasn't like this big, like, drastic change in life. I'm realizing that, before I answer your question, I'm realizing that people already look at me like I'm here, no matter how much I feel like I have to get up here. So the treatment that other people may think I'm getting, like, oh, her life is changing. Everybody's like, it's like people are so cool. Like, it's like, oh, she's Vina. She's already Vina. So people's just like, oh, yeah, she's cool. So after growing up hip-hop, it wasn't like this crazy big blowout. It was like, oh, that's Vina. Like, yeah. The one thing I learned, though, was having to be cautious with my mouth. Having to be very mindful about what I react to and what I say. And because then it's like, all right, that's right there. Like, even when I'm not even, like, my mic is on, nobody said shoot, nothing, but that thing is on, and this mic is on. So I could be having a regular conversation, and I'm just thinking I'm having a regular conversation, and then I hear an episode and it's like, I didn't say that on camera, but you said it on your mic though. You said it on your mic though. So it's just training to really be mindful of what you're saying, who you're saying it to, and all those kind of things. However, I did love the response that I got from the show. Like I didn't get a bunch of negative feedback. Like most of the things I heard pertaining to who I was on the show was positive. It was all beautiful things. And when I see people outside and they're like, we saw the show, it's like, oh, thanks. Like I'm being embraced.
So you mentioned, things you want to work on as far as, maybe your reaction to things vocally. Like, have you been the bully or have you been bullied? Or you got a nice balance of both?
Yeah, it's a nice balance of both. And I don't want y'all to think I'm just like on the gram, like just ranting all day. Like, no. But you just got to learn the self-control. And when I look at my Instagram, I don't usually get like a lot of negative. I don't put out negative energy. Like you don't look at my Instagram and I'm like reposting stuff about artists like, oh, she sucks. And you don't get that from me.
Right.
So when you come to my page, all you feel is positivity. There's no need to be negative. If you are, you're giving hater vibes and that's just on you. So I don't really exude negativity when it comes to my career. And I just feel like it allows people to either just be like, you know what, I'm gonna shut up or I'm gonna say something nice.
Right.
So yeah.
I know, cause I feel that like even just on social media, there's so much stuff up there and you can, wake up, turn on your phone, and it's like a whole slew of things that could just set your
whole
vibe
mood,
off.
everything.
Crazy, just how you interact with people for the rest of the day.
Everything.
Just everything, all aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You a hustler, you Harlem, so you gotta be a hustler. Explain the journey, cause I know I seen you, what was it, Sway in the Morning? Mm-hmm. I go on YouTube, I watch the freestyles and stuff, and then, I'm watching, I think it was Fred the Godson, R.I.P., Christopher Rios, and then I see Vina pop up in the freestyle. I'm like, oh snap! Like you hustling, you moving around, you making your rounds. What are some things that you keep at the front of your mind as you're moving around in the game, hustling, building your business?
To never be that girl that's like, Vina here. Like I never want people to feel like that about me.
Okay.
Like I want people to see me and be like, look at Vina. Like I want you to look at me and want to give me a hug. I want you to look at me and want to have a conversation with me. I want you to feel like what I feel like. I want you to feel like royalty in my presence. Like
that love.
Yeah, like I want you to
that's your actual
feel,
name.
Yeah, that's my actual name.
Don't
so I want you to
confused.
feel that. Like I never want to be the person that's like, oh, Vina here, girl. Let me get out of here. Like I don't want to be that. Like it's important to keep. One thing that was really big in my household, I had multiple households. Like I've had my parents living together. It's been just me and my mom. It's been me and my whole family. Like I've learned different things through just growing up and living in different types of households. And no matter what, morals and having respect, mannerism, all those kind of things were like the forefront of everything we did. We couldn't say can't. We couldn't, like it was just certain things we couldn't do because we were building ourselves up.
Right.
And it was just, when I walked into my career, it was like, okay, my mom always told me, watch your mouth, watch how you talk to people, watch how you treat people, watch how you do this, watch how you do that. And it just made sense in my career. And every time I moved on that, it always worked out for me. So it was just like, this is the way to be. And then I'm a woman of God, so that just pours into that. And it's like, all right, this is who it is.
So we talk about, the vibes, but you're also an entrepreneur, right? You have, was it More Love Records, right? And you running that. And I think somewhere I might have read that you're like the youngest black female record, one of the youngest black female. What you tell me, is it the youngest or one of the youngest?
One of the youngest. Because I'm sure, I don't know like exactly, but I'm sure there's other young women out there with their own record label. I don't know, don't quote me, but from what I understand, I'm one of the youngest to have her own, one of the youngest black women to have her own record label. And my mama do all the running stuff. She just go here, go here, go there, go there, go there. But she's very much, she picks my brain. She's teaching me the business. We're really making this thing work with just 3 people, right? It's really just like 3 of us, 4 of us. And as time goes on and I'm growing, I'm learning, I just want to see it become just everything that I was trained for in my whole life, everything that I learned, everything that I was taught, I want my label to be that. Like, all right, she's coming from a place of experience. She's coming from a place of, she knows this, she knows that, her team knows this, they know that. Like, this is not a artist that's trying to take other artists and just take their money. Like, I want you to learn. I want you to understand.
What's some goals you have for that brand by itself aside from Vina?
I gotta be the, you feel me? Like, I gotta because that's what's gonna make it all make sense. But like, I always said, as an artist, I would never just sign to another artist. Like, it would have to make sense. Like, I'm not about to just, I don't want to throw nobody's name out there because that's shady. But like, certain artists sign to certain artists and the deal don't work out because you're signing to an artist. You're not signing to somebody who's like, all right, I'm running a label. Like, this is what I'm doing. Like, so there's a mix-up, and then the artist becomes misled. They So for me, it's just like, I just want everybody to feel confident, especially if you're under me. I just want the goal to just be like, I learned something. I know something. I'm not just being taken for granted. I'm not just being sold. I know what's going on.
And people know you got a support system, which is dope. That you got Mama Love, you got Pops. What are maybe some things you've seen other people go through that? Because it's an interesting thing with you because your Pops has done what he's done, but you're in the same industry, but doing something else. So I'm sure there's like tips and stuff he may tell you, or just experiences that he shared, because he's seen, 80s, 90s, 2000s, every singer that's came and gone, So what are some things that maybe he's told you that you're like, okay, and you realize later on, like, okay, that was actually some good information, because I seen Homegirl just went through that, and I don't gotta go through that because Pops put me on. Like, maybe.
My dad told me a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think of something that stands out the most. I think my dad's main thing was like, you never want to be the person that like every time somebody hear about you is something bad.
Right.
Like, you want them to know you for all the special things about you, the fact that you have a fire voice, the fact that you are beautiful, the fact that you can dance, the fact that you have a great personality, all those kind of things are the things you want people to remember you for. So it come with being humble, but also with knowing who you are. Like, stand in your truth, be 10 toes about who you are, but just, let people tell you why they love you. Don't always run to people and be like, love me because I'm this. So that was one thing I always.
It helps when it's in your, like, it's actually your name.
I mean,
you don't gotta ask people to love me because it's my name. Like, it's part of the squad.
People don't even believe that. Like, people think that, like, I made that up. Like, my ID literally says Vina Amore Love.
Did you go through other names before you landed on that?
My name is Vina, so I just took the DA out and just left Vina, and then took my last name.
Because some people, like, the Kendrick Lamars, they go, they may be K. Dot, then they come back to their actual name.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing for you to, go with that. Explain to us, like, your process with the show, with your performing, because, I've seen you come to the schools. You're not like the type to be like, okay, I'm performing these songs, here we go, and I want, like, you actually ask people, what do you experience? Ladies, where you at? Have you ever gone through this? If you've gone, like, you kind of talk to people, as you're performing, like, what's your experience been like performing? I know you toured as well, so if you can talk about that and who you toured with.
I've been on tour with New Edition. I did a couple dates with Fab, Jadakiss, Ashanti, Ja Rule. We did some stuff with Megan Thee Stallion. The list goes on.
You said you dance too, right? You bring that? Are you bringing that back into your?
Yeah. Like my big shows, like that's when we really like show out and like go crazy. But like when it comes to, so with being on tour with everybody I've been on tour with, you kind of see what some artists do, what some artists don't do, and you kind of build how you want to look on stage. So when I come out, like, I don't want you standing there like this, like, all right, who is this girl? Like 9 times out of 10, I still get on the stage and most of the room won't know me. So I have to walk in there as if they don't know me. Like, I'm being in love, this is my personality, how you feel, because this is how I feel. You feel like this, all right, I'm gonna change it into this. Like, you have to create the experience, or you get on stage and just like, all right, next. Like, there's nothing memorable about it, and that's like wasting everything. That's like taking a 7-hour drive to go nowhere.
Right.
So for me to get on stage and interact with everybody and see them go from being like this to now smiling and dancing and interacting, that lets me know I did my job. Like, I got you out your seat, I got you feeling something. So even if I'm not performing my music, music is music. So if I can make you feel something, even if there's no beat or no nothing, and I could just ask you a question and it changes the whole atmosphere of the room, it's like, all right, good job, V. Good job.
So I ask you, what's better for you, performing or the recording process?
They're both very fluent for me. I have way more fun on stage.
Okay.
Like, studio it's fun, but that's the work part of it. It's like, all right, let me get this done. Because that's where you're really using most of your brain, because you worry about words, you worry about the lyrics, you worry about the melody, you worry about the mix, you worry about all this different kind of stuff. So that's really the working part. But on stage, it's like, the song's done already. Like, I'm dressed, I look good, I feel good, it's lit, and I'm just floating.
Press the button.
You feel me? I'm just floating, and I'm in the stars, and then I look up, and it's a million people there, and then we all feel the same way, and it's like.
How important is it for you to just mentally, like, finding other things to do outside of music?
It's very important. I have a lot of interests outside of music. Like, I love to cook now. I love doing hair. I love doing makeup. I love babysitting. Like, there's other things I like to do. I love to travel. Obviously, I like to dance. Acting. Like, it's so many things. And I'm really one of those people, if I never did it before and I do it and I like it, I'm immediately a master. Not to toot my own horn, but that's pretty much like how my life is. So I tend to just do stuff, and if I like it and I love it, that's just what it is. But I'm not a boring girl outside of music. Like, I have a life.
Okay, and because mentally, like, I mean, I DJ, produce, it's just like, if I don't do other things, if I don't, diversify myself, I feel imbalanced. Like, if I'm doing too much of the same thing, it can be stress. It can add stress to you. This music industry is very, very weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
That's why I made it such a big deal to be Vina Love and also be Davina still. Like, you gotta learn how to turn off your celebrity.
Right.
You gotta be able to tap back into real life to do real life things so that you could learn. You gotta feel. You can't feel nothing if you're in celebrity all day. And then if you're in celebrity all day, when you finally do turn everything down, it's like, I'm drained. Like, you've taken everything away from you because there's nothing else. You've been that all day. So to turn off Vina Love and be Davina and still gotta go home and wash the dishes, still gotta go home and make sure my house is clean, the garbage is out, my mom not cursing me out. Like, that keeps me like whole. That keeps me like, all right, you're still human, and this is how you're gonna remain human, by still living your life. And that pours into your work life, because now you have the discipline, now you have some inspiration, now you have other things to think about, other things to talk about, and you just feel like a human. And it's easier to interact with people when you feel human. It's hard when you feel like a robot.
Yeah, the robots is in your comments, so don't act like you ain't know. It's that's very key, man. What's up next, man? What's up for the business, for the entrepreneur? What are you working on as far as the label? You yourself. What's on the horizon for you?
I've been holding out on my album for so long, probably like 3-4 years now.
Do you have a title?
Yes. I have two titles for two different projects. Being that I've been waiting for so long, I feel like my supporters deserve like as much as they could get from me as possible. So features, videos, album project, all that kind of stuff. But I say that I've been holding out for so many years to say, like, if you have been supporting me, thank you. If you're wondering why I'm waiting, because I have to feel, I'm not gonna bully myself into releasing something. I have to feel like it's ready. I have to feel like I'm ready. I have to feel like y'all ready. Because there is such thing as timeless music, and a lot of music y'all making now I made 10 years ago, but that's another conversation. But you just gotta be real, like, you know, just be real cautious. But that's really my thing. Like, I'm real cautious, and some people think that it's harmful. It can be. In my situation, I don't feel like it is, because I'm constantly like, I'm growing up and I'm constantly changing, so I'm making new music. And I'm just like, you know what? I want this, I don't want that. I want this, I don't want that. I want people to hear this, but I don't want them to hear that. Or I want them to hear this, but in 3 years. So I'm really going through that process. So releasing music, of course, and just staying in the studio and like coming to see y'all and doing movie stuff and just anything I can get my hands on, I'm for it.
I love that you got, you know, your support system, your family's involved. This is allowing generational wealth to carry on to the next and just build on top of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do. One more question, because you did bring up, you know, people being ready. How this support system? How do you pick? You know, you have your family, but how do you pick? What's quality traits in people who you have around? Quality traits in people who are around you that you look for. You know.
I started looking at new things recently. I thought I had it figured out, but I'm also learning you never actually really have it figured out. Like, you have to meet people and learn people, and you'll meet someone that's similar to someone else, but you never meet the same person twice. Right. So there's something different about everybody. And I realized that you have to kind of like shut off emotion to really see people. And with that being said, I only want people around me that love themselves so much that they can't even put themselves in harm's way. If you won't put yourself in harm's way, you're not gonna put me in harm's way. You're not gonna, like, I love people that love me and respect me. I don't like people that love me and don't respect me. That's confusing to me and that's dangerous to me. So I look for qualities of respect. You have manners. You uphold yourself. You care about how people perceive you. You care about what you put out into the universe. You care about if you're being negative all day, if you're being snooty and just rude all day. Like, I like people who hold positivity, because it's easy for me to fall into a negative bowl of nonsense. So if I have a bunch of positive people around me that can pull me out of that, that's like the greatest thing to have.
That's important too, because with the schools we go into, a lot of the issues with bullying just comes down to who you hang out with or who you choose to give them that power, you know, to make you feel a certain way. So I asked you that because that's important from the start, you know. I mean, what would you tell maybe, you know, a young girl in high school that's like maybe hasn't figured out the talent yet, but still trying to, because you have a foundation to have people, you know, the right people around you, the music, the talent, what you're doing, your business. But for somebody who maybe hasn't started that, like, how you put good people around you, you know, in high school, in the hood.
It's hard, and I know. But I think the best advice I could give is to explore. If you just get rid of the, no, I'm not this, no, I can't do that, no, they don't this, no, they don't that. If you just release all of that and just fall into life, go into the experiences, you don't know your talent, you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life, go do stuff. Go have fun. Let people gravitate towards you. Let your energy speak out. Now, if it's an energy thing within yourself, speak to somebody. That's like the best thing to do. Because you'll never realize how crazy your mind is going and how messed up your heart may be until somebody says to you, like, you know, you sound like you need a little, like, sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, like, you're bugging. Like, sometimes you need that. But if it's not that and you're really just trying to find your way in life, put yourself out there. That's the best way to figure out. And then you can't be afraid to fall. You're going to fall. You're going to fall. So you can't be like, oh, I can't do this because I don't want to. You're going to fall regardless. So you might as well fall, get up, and move on to the next thing.
Words of advice from Vina Love, with love, Man, pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing your greatness. You continue to do the acting, the singing, the music. We appreciate you coming by to open the Arts and Education Project.
Always.
You tear the stage down every
Thank you.
time. The kids love you. You know, they look up to you. And, you know, it's a pleasure having you here,
Thank you,
man. We love love.
Yeah, we do.
Vina love.